When the Japanese pilot first come on the frequency, for you guys that are familiar with radar or how the military or the controllers work, when he first come on the frequency for the controller, the first words out of his mouth was, "Did you have traffic for me?" And when the controller hears these words, it means doom, because right away he forgot something. He's got somebody else up there that shouldn't, and why would a pilot ask if we had traffic? And he looked at the scope and he says, negative, there's no traffic in your area. And the Japanese pilot says, oh yeah, there's traffic out here, and it's at 12 o'clock in about 8 miles, he's telling him. Well, the next thing the controller says is, can you tell me what type it is? Can you make out the type of aircraft? Any markings on the plane that we can find out who it is? He's thinking it's a military aircraft. And the Japanese pilot says, there's no markings. It's as big as 4 aircraft carriers. It has yellow and white lights around the center, and it's big. And he was a little bit worried. Well, this machine followed him down for 31 minutes. Halfway through his flight, he makes a 360-degree turn. Now, when I say he makes it, he doesn't do anything unless the FAA says you can do this. So they told him, if you want to deviate, you want to change your altitude, let us know. And he changed his altitude a couple times, makes a 360, and this UFO stayed with him all the way. Scared the pants off. So I shoot back to the FAA center, and the administrator at the time was Admiral Amy. I don't know if you guys do. I got there about 4:45 because I wanted to go home with my wife. And he heard I was in the building, so he calls me up and he says, give me a 5-minute briefing on what you're seeing. So I gave him what I'm telling you guys here. And he wanted to know if that video I took would play on his TV, and I said, I guess so, the book says it can. So I plugged it in there, and after a few minutes of watching the video, he calls an aide over and he says, go tell Kennedy I'm going to be a few minutes late. So he's watching it a little bit more, and then he finally calls the aide over and says, go cancel the rest of my appointments tonight. We'll reschedule for sometime next week. He says, I have to go see the president. And we're talking about Reagan. So when he got all done, he said, don't talk to anybody, I'll get back with you, and I'll tell you what to do. I'm on my way to see Reagan. Next morning I came to work, and I got a call from some guy who said he was at the CIA. He wanted to talk about a UFO. I said, you're talking to the wrong guy, I don't know anything about UFOs. He said, well, the one that happened over Alaska, I said, you probably want to talk to the Admiral. I don't know what you're talking about. A few minutes later, the Admiral calls down and says, I've set up a briefing for you tomorrow at 10 o'clock or 9 o'clock, whatever it was, in the round room. He says, the President's scientific staff is coming over, some CIA guys will be there, I think he said 3, matter of fact, and some grunts will be coming along with them. He says, your task is to hand this stuff off to them. When they leave here, they have to take this with them, because the FAA does not control UFOs. Now, I showed them all this stuff when they got all...
45 seconds.
Okay. When they got all done, one of the scientists came out and said they had 3 or 4 questions. They wanted to know the speed of the antenna, the frequency of the antenna, the logarithm for the height-finding equipment. And the people I brought with me just happened to be experts, and they answered all the questions. When they get done, the CIA guy standing next to me says to the people, this event, pointing to the big screen they have in the room, this event never happened. We were never here. We're confiscating all this data, and you're all sworn to secrecy.